Book 2. Unfortunately for the Argonauts, King Amycus liked to throw hands. Every foreigner who arrived to his lands was promptly invited to a fistfight, and the Argonauts were no different. Polydeuces answered this challenge, and others sat around them, forming a circle. It was beautiful Polydeuces against giant Amycus. Fight. Amycus attacked first, Polydeuces dodging, judging his enemy, and then swiftly attacking back. Amycus wanted to win by sheer size alone, but Polydeuces was fast, slipped by him, and punched him right behind the ear, instantly killing the king. Amycus's kingsmen were a bit fussy at first, but ended up running away from the Argonauts. After a good night and replenishing their stock, they went on to sail once more. Another stop on their trip was a place belonging to old Phineus, son of Agenor. Now Phineus was given a gift of prophecy by Apollo, but he didn't respect the god's messages. Thanks to that, Zeus took away Phineus's sight. He lived and aged still, but barely holding on. Anytime he wanted to eat, harpies appeared and stole all of his food, and the one they left smelled so foul that nobody would eat it. Don't disrespect the gods. When the Argonauts arrived, Phineus went on to greet them with a prophecy. They were here to save him. The sons of the North Wind will be able to chase away the harpies, so that Phineus will be able to enjoy his food once more. Zeus and Calais agreed to help. A meal for Phineus was prepared, and the twins stood at the ready. When the harpies showed up, Zeus and Calais gave chase until they drove them so far away they would not come back. Battle was won, no blood spill. Phineus ate like crazy, and in between the bites he told Argonauts about the prophecy for the rest of their journey. He basically spoils the plot, so let me just say that Phineus told the Argonauts about the clashing rocks that lay ahead and how to get through them safely. The journey will be perilous, full of enemies, strangers, and even stranger lands. And a god may show up here and there, just for fun. Also, the fleece itself was apparently guarded by a giant unblinking serpent that lets nobody near it. Good luck with that. They sacrificed to Apollo and other gods, fetched a dove as Phineus instructed, and they were off to the clashing rocks, Athena following them. The sea by the clashing rocks was dangerous with waves and rocks spilling everywhere, but the Argonauts continued on, and once they actually saw the rocks moving, they let out the dove they caught. If the dove returned, they could pass. If it didn't, well, it was a game over. The dove flew back, and as soon as the rocks opened again, the Argo went in. Our heroes could see the sea both in front and behind them when the waves and rocks swept in. Argo did escape the clashing rocks, but for every meter she moved forward, she was pulled back by 2. The ship was trapped in place, and at that moment, Athena intervened. She helped Argo pass through, holding the rocks and shooting the ship forward like an arrow. The Argonauts were safe, but Jason was a bit anxious after this whole ordeal. The rest of the crew reassured him they were in this together. They rode for the rest of the day afterwards, passing places Phineus had told them about. At last they stopped at the Isle of Tinius, where they all encountered a vision of Apollo on his way to Lycia, moving above the sea. They built an altar right here and there and sailed on. At Acherusian Cape, Lycus, the local chieftain, welcomed them. After he heard the story of the quest they were on, he offered his son, Dascylus, to join them, because why not? As they gathered at the beach, Idmon got attacked. A giant boar rammed him and cut open his thigh. The Argonauts managed to kill the boar, but there was no helping Idmon. He died in the arms of his friends, just as his own prophecy foretold. They mourned him, feeling like they didn't know how to continue, but Hera gave them enough courage to hang on tight. Back on Argo, they passed by the tomb of Snelius, a companion of Heracles. His ghost wished to see the man of his own kind one last time, and Persephone granted him the wish, just for a little while. So when Argo sailed past, they all saw the ghost of Snelius staring at them, and then disappearing, satisfied with his wish. On their way, some new faces joined them, previous companion of Heracles, and they passed some strange lands, like the lands of the Amazons, the Calaibes, the Barani, and Mossynoeci. As they were approaching the Isle of Ares, they got attacked by birds. There were thousands of them, too many to kill with bows, but the Argonauts quickly made a plan. Let's confuse the birds with their crested helmets on their heads and their spears and shields. They should shout at once to shockwave the birds out, and afterwards just bang their spears on their shields as they land on the island. Surprisingly enough, this worked. The birds flew away and the Argonauts landed, just as was said in Phineus's prophecy. But what to even do here? Just as Zeus has planned, the sons of Phrixus, the man who brought the golden ram to Colchis, were stranded on the same island. Argus, Phrontis, Cytisorus, and Melas were traveling to Hellas to take possession of their grandpa's estate. That trip didn't quite work out though, and they were invited to join the Argonauts by Jason himself. They didn't really want to in the beginning, because they knew how King Aeetes is and that he just won't let the Argonauts take the fleece easily, but they got persuaded by Peleus. On their journey, where Argus led them back to Colchis, they saw the rock where Prometheus was bound and even observed the eagle flying in. At last they arrived to their destination, landing in a moor, hidden and waiting for dawn.